Hello everyone. Hello. This year is dedicated to Leili Nishmas, Rachalei Abbas, Reb Chaim Tzvi. We're learning the laws of lashon hara from the Sefer Chofetz Chaim, and today we'll be starting Bez Hashem in klal Daled. So the Chofetz Chaim writes as follows. This is in the headline. The klal zeh Yevuar Isser lashon hara mibnam l'makom v'tikun al chet zeh. In this klal, in this chapter, we'll be discussing the Isser of lashon hara, discussing someone who's doing an aveira bein adam l'makom. He mentions, by the way, we'll see a little bit bein adam l'chavero, but bein adam l'makom. This chapter is mostly about speaking lashon hara about someone who's doing an aveira, making a mistake, doing an aveira bein adam l'makom, and eventually how to do tshuva for it as well. The tikkun al chet zeh. That is the topic of this parak. Okay. Now the Chofetz Chaim starts in the first few seifim, and he says things about basically what's usher. It's usher to say about your friend, that he does that he doesn't do this mitzvah, he does this mistake, something b'nam u'makom. And for me personally, I had a hard time understanding the flow of how the klal worked, and I found the Sefer Nesivos Chaim gives a brief introduction to this klal. And it helped me organize how to deal with the klal. So I'm just going to mention it briefly. And he says as follows. You see, at the end of in the second half of this chapter, the Chofetz Chaim talks about when it's mutter to speak lashon hara about someone who's doing an aveira b'nam u'makom. So the whole chapter is leading up. He starts with what's obvious, what's basic. This is usher, this is usher, this is usher, this is usher. And then he's building up to, but in the following scenario, this will be mutter. So he's introducing that with the basics at the beginning of klal Daled. Let me just read for you the introduction from the Nesivos Chaim. Mentioned the Sefer before. It's a classic work written by Moshe Kaufman, Shlita. And he really takes apart the Sefer Chofetz Chaim and goes through every nuance of the Sefer, every fact and every detail very, very much in depth. He writes as follows, a general introduction to klal Daled. Hine b'klal zeh Rabbeinu osek b'din sipur aveiros she'ben adam u'makom. Like the Chofetz Chaim says, aveiros ben adam u'makom. U'mefaresh v'holich min hakal el kaved, and he starts from the lighter to the heavier, from the less severe to the more severe. U'matchu me'advarim she'asurim l'saper ad shemagia, and he starts with what's asur to say until he reaches ad shemagia levar b'siv zayin and on, when it's mutter lefarsen about someone, what they're speaking, to speak lashon hara about someone who's doing an aveira. U'misif zayin ve'elach mevar ufanim achem shematzanu heter l'galos aveiros t'be'el mamakom. So that's what's happening here. The Chofetz Chaim is starting the chapter with a discussion of what's usher, and a lot of this, based on things we've seen already, is very straightforward, and we're building up to, despite the fact that this is usher, this is usher, this is usher, but we'll get to eventually, in certain cases, when it's mutter. And some of the details the Chofetz Chaim mentions, it's usher, even in this case, even in that case, we'll see why he mentions it, because later, when we read what's mutter, when we learn what's mutter, we'll understand why he mentioned now it's usher even in this case, because what he means in this case, but in that case it will be mutter. Okay, that's our introduction. Let's begin. Sif Aleph. Usher l'saper al chaveiro afilu shelo b'fanavu emes. It's usher to speak about your friend, even if he's not around, even if it's true, because if he is around, you're also embarrassing him. And if it's not true, it's motzi shemra. Okay. It's also to speak about your friend. Davar sheyispaza al yedezeh. Anything which he'll be degraded by if you say this. Now, for lomi boy, I think we've had it before. It's an Aramaic phrase, and it always goes together with ela afilu. Lomi boy means not only the following, but even. So whenever you see lo mi boy, lo is lo, mi boy is mem beis ayin yud. Whenever you see a lo mi boy, you're waiting for the ela afilu. Not only in this case, but even in this case. That's what happens here. It's a good tool to pick up when you're learning something in Aramaic. You see lo mi boy, so you get into the not only da, but even wait for the el afilu. Okay. Lo mi boy b'dvarim shel gnai bi'alma kegon lizkor lav ma'aser avos v'krovav o lizkor lav ma'aser v'rishonim bein shari dvarim b'alma makom o dvarim shabam mechaveiro kevan shu misnaig ata kashura aser l'ganoso bazeh v'lashon hara mikri. I'll explain it in a second. Ela afilu imro mikaro beino lebein atzmo she'aseh dar b'sheina royal pidin. It's also asur. Now this means as follows. The not only means even if it's something which refers to the past, where maybe there's a chance he changed his ways already. So that's asur, and it's even asur